Okay, there isn't really a whole lot to talk about that happened, and I think it was episode 8. That was mainly just getting to see the third years throw down a little bit with our first years and a little bit of the second years. Kind of a teaser, really, for what's going to come in the exhibition. Oh, I don't know if it's really an exhibition match. That's what I'm going to call it for now. I don't remember the name of it. But for the upcoming exhibition match between the sorcerers, student sorcerers. But, yeah, I forget the dude's name. The big buff guy who's a third year. Toyuro, something like that. But the dude's hilarious. I love that guy. He's a total goofball. But long story short, him and Megumi throw hands. Megumi, he holds his own to a degree, but ultimately gets his ass whooped pretty good. But it looked like he was about to go lethal there at the end, so mayhaps Sukuna was onto something, saying that he's gonna see something pretty soon. Maybe there's some darker elements to Megami that we haven't really been able to realize just yet. Our girl got the smackdown handed to her by Zen Senpai's sister, or it seemingly like it was, because when they came back from their fight, she was laying on the ground all busted up. Well, I should say, when Zenin interfered. And then they're sitting there talking, and we find out that the oldest sister, I think her name was Mia. It was either Mia or Mai. I want to think it's Mai. She only has the ability to imbue objects with cursed energy, which we see when she shoots her with the gun. And that the younger sister, Zenin, is kind of like Asa from Black Clover. She's unable to utilize any kind of curse energy, and she can't even see curses without these special glasses. So that was some really cool dialogue exposition there, getting to know the characters a little bit more. But right when Mia or Mai, God, I don't get those names mixed up so much. Apologies. When Mai thinks she's got the upper hand, our girl comes up behind, gives her in this rear naked choke looking thing like some fucking Goku from early Dragon Ball Z. Full Nelson style, going Ronda Rousey on the bitch, and lays her out. It was great. So it was pretty cool seeing her throw hands a little bit and not being completely useless, like the always mentioned Sakura Haruno. Just had to throw that in there. The highlight of the episode for me, though, was when Megumi and Big Boy were throwing hands, and we got to see, I forget his name too, the dude that can only speak in, he looks like Ken Kaneki, you know who I'm talking about. He can only speak through recipe pieces, he says salmon flakes and shit all the time. We actually hear him say something, and whenever he speaks, apparently people are bound to his words or whatever. So if anybody out there has ever seen Overlord, it's kind of like when Demiurge uses his special power and he can make people obey him by just speaking. Kind of like that, seemingly. But that, and we get to see Panda come in and throw hands, and then Panda, love me some Panda. Just throwing it out there. First of all, he's a panda. Secondly, it's Panda. Okay, what more do you need to know about the guy? He's a panda named Panda. But he's got some power behind him too. I'm really hot to see him throw hands in the tournament. Which, that was really all that went down of note in the episode, other than seeing Gojo sitting down with a head elder and just pretty much calling him out, basically telling him that he's a piece of shit for what he's doing. Because Gojo don't give a fuck. Just saying. Gojo is the GOAT. But on to what really we want to talk about, the newest episode, which we got a teaser of at the end of the last episode with Mahito killing those boys in the theater. So in this episode, we find out that he killed the boys in the theater for being too loud or whatever, and that they were actually these guys that were bullying the other kid in the theater earlier in the day and had bullied him at school and stuff, and that he had always wanted to make people disappear and stuff because he is tired of the way he's been treated. So, classic outcast kid kind of story. Meeting with a powerful cursed spirit, that can always go perfectly well, right? Then Gojo's like, I can't accompany you, so I'm leaving you with my friend who used to be an ex-tax analyst or data analyst, something like that. Some random job. And he's like, the dude's hilarious, just like Gojo. All these top-level sorcerers are fucking hilarious so far, because he's like, sorcerers are shit. He's like, why'd you come back? He's like, well, I got a real job. And work is shit. And I'm like, brother, 100% with you right there. I cannot stand my job. I fucking hate it. Hate it. That's beside the point. But I just love it. He's like the exact opposite of Gojo, but yet he's still like Gojo. It's hilarious as fuck. It's like a paradox inside the anime. But as we go along, he takes Itadori to the scene of the crime, if you will, and investigates and explains to Itadori how you can use your senses, your like strength in your eyes and stuff to see the residue of like cursed energy and stuff, so you can see like where Mahito had been walking away, like his cursed footprints. But then he also mentions that an experienced sorcerer will be able to sense it before he sees it. So they go to the rooftop, and they start throwing hands with these spirits that are up there. While Mahito and this boy that has been bullied this entire time has been talking in what looks like a sewer. And they just been talking about really nothing, really. Just kind of shooting the bull, if you will. And Mahito makes the reference that, hey, it's pretty cool how unstressful it is talking to you. And they're doing a really good job of humanizing these cursed spirits, which is what they've been hinting at here lately, that they're supposedly the real humans or whatever, or they think they are the true evolution of humans or something. But they're doing a really good job of humanizing them and making them really solid villains. And so the entire fight up on the rooftop, our new instructor's all like, if you need my help at any time, just let me know. And then he just goes and starts whooping ass. He goes into this weird analytical thing about how he can cut his opponents in a certain way. What about his power, which is really cool. Not the analytical part, because I hate stuff like that. But what was really cool about it was that he said that it allows him to slice in half pretty much any enemy that's weaker than him. Pretty much one shot kills them. But if somebody's significantly stronger than him, it allows him to create weak points on their body to give him an advantage in battle. And that's pretty fucking OP. It's kind of like Krillin from Dragon Ball with the Destructor Disc. If it ever managed to actually connect with anything other than Frieza's tail and Cell's neck the entire series. This is really... So I'm wondering, I'm hoping that they actually utilize it to some degree, because it seems like it's a pretty OP move. And if we're going the route of Gojo being sealed at some point, I could really see this guy kind of taking that role up until they rescue him. So we're going to see how that goes. But he's OP. He can throw hands. And Itadori made mention of something that's quite interesting, is that all these top-notch sorcerers always wear sunglasses. And they didn't explain nothing about the episode, but it makes you wonder, because, Gojo, when he's not wearing the blindfold, he's wearing sunglasses, or when he's out and about in his uniform, he's wearing the blindfold. I mean, obviously it's got something to do with their domain expansion in their eyes, but are they unable to control it because they're so powerful? Or what? That's something that's going to be really interesting to see touched upon later on, for sure. And I did forget to mention one thing that Gojo mentioned in the last episode that was worth mentioning, that I've been bringing up a lot. I keep saying I don't think Sukuna is the end-all, be-all villain in all this, at least not right now. And Gojo mentioned that the curse wave that they're all trying to resist and hold back is overpowering them, and that it is eventually going to crumble their defenses. So that kind of makes me wonder, is like, because we see, like, we know that's why they're wanting Sukuna on their side. The other spirits, you know, it's like, obviously they want him on their side because they don't kill them, but secondly, I can't shake the feeling that there's some bigger baddie out there in the wings that they're afraid of and they need Sukuna's help with, and that is mayhaps kind of driving this cursed energy. You know, I could be completely off base here, but I can't shake that feeling that something is about to go down. And I don't read the manga. I had not yet anyways, but at this rate I'm going to be starting to read the manga. But I can't shake the feeling that something like that is going to be happening. But other than that, not really much happened in terms of action other than the fight on the rooftop, which we got to see Itadori finally centralize his curse energy into his fist and bust a hole through the dude's chest and not kill him, but wound him pretty badly. And it kind of gave an example of why Itadori's so freaking inhumanly strong, is because he unknowingly uses cursed energy to strengthen his body, and like when he hits, like it delays and then punches again, so it's like each punch is like the power of 2 or something like that. So I thought that was interesting. But the most interesting part of the episode was finding out that the cursed energies, that the cursed spirits that they had fought on the rooftop weren't actually cursed spirits. Not in the traditional sense, anyways. They were those human boys that Mahito had disfigured, apparently, if I'm not mistaken, and he had turned them in to the cursed spirits. So yeah, this Mahito dude is nobody to toy around with. He's legit for sure, and that's something that the instructor mentions later when they're asking about the plan. He's like, you know, this guy's good enough that he didn't have to leave a trail. He's obviously luring us into a trap, and I'm just weighing whether or not it's worth taking Itadori with me or doing it by myself, and he ultimately chooses to do it by himself. So either he's gonna die, or we're going to go the Gojo sealed route, and he's going to be Gojo's replacement, which I think is far more likely, because you don't introduce somebody this OP, just have him killed off, when you got these other villains that are pretty damn overpowered as it is. So I see him maybe getting his ass whooped, putting up a good fight against Mahito, or Mahito getting his ass whooped, putting up a good fight and having a bounce, but I don't see either one of them dying in the next episode. We just see that they're going to throw hands. So that just leaves the big question of what happens to that kid who's been bullied and has seemingly befriended Mahito. Is he going to become a cursed spirit, a sympathizer with them, or is he going to join Itadori in them? I imagine that'll be answered in the next episode, but if you have any theories or ideas, throw them down in the comments below and let me know what you thought. How do you like the new instructor? Does he remind you of like a opposite Gojo, but still kind of Gojo with his goofy, like he's like a serious, super by the books kind of goofy, if that makes any sense, you know? He kind of reminds me a lot of a Chandler Bing from Friends, if Chandler Bing was an asshole. It's an odd analogy there, but that's honestly what comes to mind. And his character design reminds me a lot of Jason from Tokyo Ghoul. There's a lot of Tokyo Ghoul inspiration in this manga, or this anime as well. But yeah, you know, what do you think about the episode? What do you think about this Mahito guy? You know, are you getting hype? I'm getting hype. Every episode I see, I get more and more excited for this freaking anime. But you know, just drop your comments, theories, let me know what you thought. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.